Good day, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports, right here on Atlantic Television Network in the city of Port Harcourt. News, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. Now let's go through the highlights of today's report. NDDC promises to support farmers to promote employment. In Edo State, police detains man for attacking a doctor. Data management, federal government plans to introduce 3 new identity cards. Now let's take a very short break, and when we return, we head straight to the details. Please stay tuned.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Today, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
nobody's ambitions wants the blood.
I have fought very firmly. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People in the country illegally. That is amazing.
Welcome back, and now we head into the details for today's report. NDDC promises to support farmers to promote employment. The Niger Delta Development Commission has promised to support smallholder farmers to grow their operations and make them become training centers for youth as part of its plans to promote youth employment. The NDDC Executive Director of Projects, Victor Antai, disclosed this during an inspection visit to some farms in Akwa Ibom State. A statement in Port Harcourt by the NDDC Director of Corporate Affairs, Pius Teni, said that Antai, who was accompanied by the NDDC Director of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mrs. Winifred Madume, and the Director of Commercial and Industrial Development, Dr. Godwin Nosiri, and expressed delight at the enthusiasm shown by the young farmers in boosting food production. He also said the Project Hope initiative seeks to engage youths of the region by creating employment opportunities for them, especially in agriculture, to fulfill the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. Adding that the NDDC introduced the Youth Empowerment Program, which has agriculture as key components. He equally said that the NDDC is trying to move away from the oil economy, and the sector which can accommodate our youths in large numbers is the agricultural sector. Suspected gunmen in the Diobo axis of Port Harcourt, River State capital, have shot dead a vigilante at Obidanso waterfront in the Mile 1 part of the metropolis on Saturday night. Eyewitnesses say members of the group known as the Diobo Vigilante, in company of policemen, while acting on a tip-off about the activities of cult groups, stormed the waterfront to attack a rival group in an ongoing war between the two houses of suspected gang known as Debam. In a similar development, suspected cultists have shot dead a man identified as Umar, an ex-member of the Diobo Vigilante, at Kaduna Street, D-Line in Port Harcourt. When contacted, the spokesperson of the State Police Command confirmed that the two incidences, saying the investigations are ongoing. Now there's more news, but don't forget you can connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook, YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, and also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Moving on, the Edo State Police Command on Sunday said it had detained one Mr. Owege Christopher for allegedly attacking and threatening to kill Dr. Osaretin Asemota of University of Benin Teaching Hospital after the death of his wife in the health institution. Correspondent report that the public relations officer of the command, S. Mwabozo, disclosed this in a statement to newsmen in Benin City. Mwabozo said the detention was to take the man to safe custody, noting that it was a strategic move to help him get off evil thoughts that may lead him to commit suicide or cause harm to himself and even others as a result of the agony of losing his wife. He explained that the incident happened on Saturday, April 6, 2024, after the death of the deceased, who was brought to the hospital in a state of coma. According to him, on April 6, 2024, Mr. Owege Christopher was said to have taken his wife, who was in a state of coma, to UBTH Benin for treatment. The woman was attended to by Dr. Osaretin Asemota, who stabilized her condition at the time, but she later gave up the ghost while receiving treatment and was confirmed dead by the doctor. The news of the woman's death enraged her husband, Mr. Owege Christopher, to the extent that he attacked and assaulted Dr. Osaretin Asemota and accused him of being deceptive for asking him to buy expensive medicines for his wife when he knew that she will eventually die. He swore to make the doctor go the same pass through. The doctor was, however, rescued by his colleagues and hospital security personnel. He immediately headed to the Ubowa Police Division headquarters, Benin City, to lodge a complaint of assault against Mr. Owege Christopher. The divisional police officer received him and the suspect, who was initially apprehended by the security personnel of the hospital. Their statements were taken while the suspect was kept in safe custody, counseled for about an hour, and was released unconditionally to go home with his family members and friends. The essence of keeping him in safe custody, according to Mwabozo, is to help him get rid of negative thoughts that may lead him to commit suicide or cause harm to himself or even others as a result of the agony of losing his wife. The State Police Command further appealed to members of the Association of Resident Doctors of the hospital, who earlier threatened to embark on an industrial strike because of the assault against their member, to have a rethink. The Edo State Federal Road Safety Commission said no fewer than 11 persons were killed in road accidents across the state in the month of March 2024. The sector commander in the state, Paul Okpe, disclosed this to newsmen in Benin City while speaking on road crashes in the state. Okpe said 11 persons died in the 8 accidents that occurred across the state in the period under review. He added that 24 persons were injured or escaped unhurt in the accidents. He attributed most of the accidents to brake failure, overspeeding, drunkenness, use of phone, route violation, and amongst others. The sector commander, while noting that the command is stepping up campaign against traffic violations in the state, however, advised motorists to adhere to traffic rules in order to overloading, overspeeding, drunk driving, night driving, and use of phones. He also called on motorists to imbibe the culture of safety with a view with accidents on the road. Analysts say the public office holders, including state governors, are chief servants to the people and must be accountable and transparent for the interests of the state and the mandate they represent. He frowned at the misappropriation of 9 billion naira infrastructural development provided by the federal government to state governors across the country. Speaking on Atlantic Open Air, public affairs analyst Churchill Wale said the public office holders, including state governors, are chief servants as they represent the people's mandate of leadership and must be accountable or be punished in cases of fraudulent activities.
Every leader is a servant. Chief servant. And as the chief servant, you are supposed to always do everything to inform your people that you are serving, and also that is when you go for an errand for them, whatsoever thing they give to you, you inform them. And also do accordingly.
Mr. Wale also called on the defaulted palliative governors to ensure that they utilize the 9 billion naira palliative and infrastructural development funds provided by the federal government to its purpose for the benefits of people.
Should do the right thing by using that money for the purpose the president sent the money to them.
Okay.
Because there is high level of hunger in the country, and the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is fighting tooth and nail to see that the economy of Nigeria is being better, is trying to help the lives of people of Nigeria. But these people are, like I said it here last time, that the kind of leaders we are having now is leaders that is thinking on how to build houses abroad.
This is coming after a leading anti-corruption body followed the money accused 35 state governors in the country of hiding the 9 billion naira palliative and infrastructural development funds provided by the federal government, saying that only Plateau State has been transparent on the money utilization. Kaduna State Police Command has arrested a 9-man gang of suspected ritualists under the name of Neo Black Movement at a cemetery in Dutsen Aba Ward along the Zaria-Kaduna Expressway with one full jerrycan of human blood. ASP Mansour Hussain, Hussein, public relations officer of the command, while making the confirmation arrest, explained that their arrest followed a tip-off after a source drew the attention of the service formation that some group of people were sighted at the Said Cemetery, which in turn Saye Low-Cost Division was alerted. He said the suspected ritualists comprising the new and old members were apprehended while initiating the new members, saying that the gang confessed to getting the human blood after slaughtering an aged man and dispossessing of his body along the Jaji military cantonment in neighboring Igabi local government area. The suspects also confessed that the man's vital body parts were dismembered but were taken away by another gang which came from Kaduna. ASP Mansour Hussaini, public relations officer of the command, confirmed the arrest, explaining that investigations are ongoing. The Yobe State Police Command said its operatives have arrested 9 suspects for culpable two separate incidences within Damaturu, the state capital, and through its public relations officer, DSP Dungus Abdul Karim, disclosed this in a statement issued on Sunday and made available to newsmen in Damaturu. DSP Abdul Karim noted that one of the incidents occurred on March the 29th, 2024 at about 6:30 p.m. when the operatives of the area command received a distress call from one Muhammad Sani of Nainawa ward that one Muhammad stabbed his 19-year-old son Hashimu Muhammad with a knife and a heated argument. After a heated argument, he added that the victim died before reaching the hospital, disclosing that the culprit fled and was later arrested. In a similar vein, on the 3rd of April 2024 at about 2100 hours, another distress call came from one Usman Abba of Nainawa ward was intercepted on the same date at about 8:45 p.m. A gang of youths between the ages of 17 and 20 years old, all of Nainawa ward, about 9 in number, carried out a mob action on his son, one Maman Yusuf, 17 years of age, brutally beaten and stabbed him with a knife, and he died on the spot. Currently, 8 of the culprits were arrested while the police are on the pursuit of one of the fleeing culprits, he said. You are watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. We will be back after this very short break. Stay tuned.
These people enter the country illegally. That is amazing. Honorables, you don't get point of contact. Honorables, you don't get point.
focus on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On 18.
People enter the country illegally. That is amazing. Honorables, you get point of contact. Honorables, you get point.
Good to have you back on Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. And now let's go to the rest of our stories. The Defense Headquarters said the troops of the Operation Hadin Kai on Friday killed 6 terrorists after an ambush along Buratai Buni Gari Road in Borno State. Director of Defense Media Operations, Edward Buba, made this revelation on a statement on Sunday in Abuja. Buba said that while an army lieutenant died in the ambush, 4 injuries in action were receiving treatment. He, however, said that troops reinforcements pursued the terrorists to their hideout within the Timbuktu Triangle and neutralized 6 of them. According to him, troops recovered 5 AK-47 rifles and 103 rounds of 7.62 special ammunition. The remaining terrorists ran in disarray, and troops are in hunt of the terrorists that fled in the firefight, he said. The commanding officer, Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base, FOB, Igbokoda, Navy Captain Wasuku Alushi, has stated that the issue of national security does not require only the application of military force. According to him, the commanding officer, human security, can also be assessed and addressed through environmental and health security. Alushi disclosed this when operatives of the base, in collaboration with members of the National Youth Service Corps, representatives of some non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and other participants in the host community, cleared drainages and evacuated refuse dumps in Igbokoda and its environs. Alushi, who led the exercise tagged Clean Up Igbokoda, stated that the exercise was part of social responsibilities of the military in ensuring a clean environment. It wasn't the first time the base engaged the host community. The exercise is routine and geared towards relating with the civil population more closely in a more beneficial way. It aligns with military thinking in the country, where emphasis is on population security. The cleanup exercise falls under the concept of civil-military cooperation, which encompasses military either by providing services or some forms of expertise that will benefit the populace, he said. The federal government has announced plans to introduce 3 new national identity cards. It said it could make the cards available to approximately 104 million citizens through the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, said that the cards consist of a bank-enabled national ID card, a social intervention card, and an optional ECOWAS national biometric identity card. This was contained in a statement shared by the technical advisor for media and communications to the Director General of NIMC, Ayodele Babalola. We expect the bank-enabled national ID to meet the needs of the middle and upper segments who typically use banks within the next 1 or 2 months after launch. Also, to meet the urgent need for authentication and secure platform for government services. such as palliatives, within the next 1 or 2 months. The focus will be on the 25 million vulnerable Nigerians funded by the current government intervention programs. Digital and virtual versions of all cards who prefer digital formats, albeit with limited functionalities. Additionally, the ECOWAS cards will be issued on an as-needed basis in collaboration with the Nigerian Immigration Service, he said. Further stated that we shall be implementing the following programs to revive the general multipurpose card issuance. First is the bank-enabled national ID card in collaboration with NIBSS and banks, while the second program will be the social intervention card under the National Social Safety Net card. The third rollout will be an optional card. We are looking at May for the possible launch, but this is also subject to presidential approval. It is just to formalize and finalize some very important details. The project will be powered by Afrigo, which is under the central bank, but everything stops at the table of the president. The removal of subsidy for Band A electricity customers, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has said that the federal government is still subsidizing 67% of the cost of power production, transmission, and distribution in the country. Recall that the federal government raised the tariff for Band A customers by 240% from 66 naira per kilowatt hour to 225 naira in the bid to reduce the sector's subsidy cost. Speaking over the weekend, the minister pointed out that Nigeria, where the government covers 67% of the cost of power production, transmission, and distribution, which consumes more than 10% of the budget. This is also a burden on the country's meager revenue, he said. Adelabu emphasized that with the removal of the subsidies on petrol, the floating of the naira, and the inflation rate in the country, the government does not want to aggravate the suffering of Nigerians. He further said that the power sector needs an overhaul, and the present administration has taken the bold step to start the journey. He pleaded for patience and understanding in addressing the root cause of the problems of the power sector to provide consumers with the desired service. He emphasized the need for customer protection, and the value for money is critical for consumers, adding that the ministry is determined to keep its promise to Nigerians on the issue of electricity. The Economic Summit Group, in partnership with Africa Climate Foundation, has held a private sector stakeholder engagement towards a successful energy transition in Nigeria. The engagement is aimed at strengthening the public-private engagement around the implementation of the Nigerian Energy Transition Plan and supporting the development of the carbon market to drive socio-economic improvement. Chief Executive of the NESG, Dr. Tayo Adulogju, said the engagement is strategic to galvanizing the private partner participation in the energy transition for the attainment of economic growth, represented by the facilitator of Sustainability Policy Commission arm of the NESG, Dr. Eugene Itua. Adoloju highlighted the significance of the section as a platform to engage both the private and public sectors in Nigeria's energy transition journey. In her overview of the project, the public-private stakeholder, specialist, and thematic lead climate change and green economy of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group Sustainability Policy Commission, Mrs. Dolapo Kuko, that the project will ultimately bring about the information sharing and policy reform interventions that drive energy transitions and inclusive development by unlocking opportunities in the energy sector and carbon market, stimulating climate change resilience, and unlocking private sector and employment opportunities, research, development, and economic growth. Mrs. Kukoyi further elaborated on the objectives, stating that the aim is to identify and inaugurate a national plan to create and foster an enabling environment for energy transition. She recounted the series of engagements that have taken place starting from November 2023, which focused on informing stakeholders about the status of the plan and gathering perspectives. In his presentation on the challenges of the Nigerian Energy Transition Plan, a facilitator of the Energy Policy Commission of the NESG, Dr. said that bringing modern energy services to Nigerians will help to manage the expected long-term job loss in the oil sector due to the reduced global fossil fuel demand. Dr. Adaju stated that some of the findings of the project revealed inadequate and high cost of financing, lack of political will and coordinating among the stakeholders. He also points to low levels of public awareness and enlightenment and absence of skilled capacity as challenges. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency said its operatives arrested a Delhi, India-bound passenger Freeman Charles Obonna at the screening point of Terminal 2 of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, for ingesting 80 wraps of cocaine. NDLA announced that Obonna was arrested on Sunday, the 31st March, while attempting to board his flight to Delhi, India via Doha on Qatar Airways using a Lebanese international passport. Using a Liberian international passport bearing the name Car Bismarck. He was taken for body scan and tested positive for ingestion of illicit drugs. In a statement by Femi Babafemi, Director of Media and Advocacy, the NDLA said that preliminary checks revealed his real identity as Freeman Charles Obonna, and he was subsequently placed under observation in custody, where he started to manifest signs of discomfort. Babafemi said that the suspect soon began to retch before starting to vomit and excrete wraps of cocaine he ingested almost simultaneously, obviously choked by the volume of illicit drugs in his stomach and another substance taken to hold back excretion. According to the statement, the suspect, who claimed he was recruited into the drug trafficking by one of his relatives, eventually passed out a total of 80 wraps of cocaine weighing 889 grams through his mouth and anus for a period of 4 days. The great risk that almost took his life notwithstanding, Obonna said that he was given the drugs to swallow at a hotel in Ipodo area of Ikeja with a promise to reward him with 300,000 naira cash if he successfully delivers the consignment in India, Babafemi said. The spokesperson also announced that NDLEA officers at the Lagos airport on Wednesday, 3rd of April, intercepted a drug mule, Imran Taufik Olalekon, at Gate C departure of Terminal 1, traveling to Oman in a check-in luggage and a backpack. When his check-in bag and backpack were subjected to thorough search, the operatives discovered a false bottom concealment of drugs in the check-in luggage and in the walls of the backpack. Babafemi disclosed that the NDLA officers swiftly moved in on the man and who accompanied the suspect to the airport. He was later identified as Ishola Isiaka Olalekon, who recruited the trafficker. According to the statement, Imran Taufik Olalekon said that he returned from Dubai some years ago but still has a valid residence permit on his old passport. He claimed that he was promised 1.5 million naira if he successfully delivers the consignment in Oman, while his recruiter Ishola was to be paid 200,000 naira. However, when the two bags were completely unpacked at the NDLA office, a charm was found in one of the bags, while another one was found on the drug mule, who confessed that he traveled to Ibadan, Oyo State, to meet with an alpha that prepared the charm for him to ensure that he was not caught during the trip. He further said that another charm was found on the intermediary Ishola Isiaka Olalekon, who accompanied Taufik to the departure area of the airport. Ishola claimed that he procured the charms for the sum of 70,000 naira, announcing further interceptions and seizures by the NDLEA. Babafemi said that at the Tinkan Seaport in Lagos, NDLEA operatives also on Wednesday, 3rd of April, and intercepted 2,144 parcels of Colorado, a synthetic strain of cannabis, weighing 1,072 kilograms. The seizure was made during a joint examination with Customs Service and other stakeholders of a container marked coming from Montreal but originated from Toronto, Canada. The drugs packed in 46 jumbo bags were found concealed in a used 2009 Lexus RX 350, 2011 Toyota Sienna and 2009 Lexus ES 350, as well as used engines, automobile doors, tires, and used household goods, as well as big drums loaded onto the container. In Kano State, a 48-year-old suspect, Gidado Sani, who jumped bail granted him by a federal high court in Kano on drug offense charges, was on Friday, 5th of April, rearrested in Sharada area of the state with 85 blocks of cannabis weighing 50.1 kg, while the NDLEA operatives in Ogun State on Thursday, 4th of April, arrested another suspect, Wasiu Jimo, during a raid operation at Ilese Amo with 48 parcels. Operatives in Lagos on Wednesday intercepted a suspect, Emeka Ume, with 506 kilograms of cannabis at Igbede, Ojo area of the state, while another suspect, Victor Okeke, was nabbed on Friday, 5th of April at Igbo Elerin, Ojo, with 142 grams of cannabis sativa and 175 liters of scooches recovered from him. Attempt by the 35-year-old Ifeanyi Odogu to smuggle 1.5 kilograms of cocaine concealed in music speakers from Lagos through Aba, Abia State to his uncle Ifeanyi Odogu, based in Cameroon, was thwarted on Wednesday, 3rd of April, when NDLEA officers working in collaboration with the transport company Yongsha Motors arrested him. Analysts say that he is not happy with the unstable trend following the prosecution of the former CBN governor Godwin Emefiele with charges bordering on money laundering and possession of illegal firearms. Atlantic Television, a political analyst, Asim Adams, a barrister at law, said that the inconsistencies involved in the judgment and prosecution of former CBN governor, if not properly handled, could lead to injustice.
To his house and they saw a pump action. They said he was positioning up firearms. We were thinking the trial will begin, but once they went to court and arraigned him, they came back again. This rigmarole has been on going to a year plus. Do you know why they do this? Because our laws capriciously and surreptitiously has given leeways to security agencies and agents to torture Nigerians using the instrumentality of the law. Number one, under our elementary laws in Nigeria here, the security agencies or those who are prosecuting can amend charges at any time before judgment. So which means if a man is charged to court and they find that as the matter is going on, the man has, escape route he will use to defend himself, they go and say they bring fresh charges because the law allows them to amend their charges at any time.
Ene Awaji Frank described the measures taken by government over Emefiele's issues as witch hunting.
To go what we call witch hunting. But if you have a case against Emefiele, why not use legal means? And yet is not doing what Nigerians are expecting it to do. I will say it here. The agency only goes out when people in government say go out. They don't go out based on what Nigeria will say credible information against a certain corrupt individuals, whether politicians or business to go what we call witch hunting. But
Please recall that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission recently has filed a fresh 26-count charge bordering on abuse of office and corruption against the immediate former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu formally announced the completion of the special investigation into the activities of the Central Bank of Nigeria and other related entities by the special investigator, Obaze. And viewers, this is where we wrap it up on this very edition of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. I am Raymond Ken Mbata. Stay connected with us on our Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, on Twitter, on Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, and also follow us on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for staying tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, from the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your hits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Around 18.
People enter the country illegally. That is amazing. Honorables, you don't get way to Honorables,
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.